Hey y'all, good morning. Happy Sunday. I hope that your week ending or week beginning, however you look at it or however your week is structured, is ending or beginning okay. I hope there's no case of the Sunday scaries where I'm manifesting positivity and things going in the way that you want them to go. So, this is my second video. I did this video. Yeah, this whole video I'm about to do. And then YouTube said, no, 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 we don't like that you shared something that was copywritten. And I want to scream because this happened to another video of mine a couple of days ago that I rather enjoyed making. So I'm doing the video over again. Let's hope it works this time. So, hey, y'all, there's a couple things I want to get into with y'all. Now, I know that I have to do my Salt Lake City and Beverly Hills review. I went and picked up my daughter yesterday because the hubby was coming home from California. And so I drove to pick up my daughter from Syracuse and back yesterday. So I think I'm going to combine my reviews for next week's Salt Lake and next week's Beverly Hills, just do them together. So there's that. Let's get into the video. First up, y'all, let's talk about the Real Housewives of Potomac, and let's get into Gizelle speaking about her. Wait a minute, let me get on this page now. Speaking about Miss Mia. Y'all may have seen it, but we're going to talk about it as a proper family, a nation.
Thornton, I heard you say that she's dead to you, and it's a two-part question. You said she's dead to you, and is it hard when people bring your children into the reality show?
Yeah, no. So the second part, yes, it is disgusting when you talk about children. They didn't sign up for this, and children just off limits. That's like across the board. Children are off limits. So if you want to come for me, come for me. Like, you don't have to bring my children into this. So that for me is a point of no return. You know, like she and I used to be friends off camera, but that's over. And I feel like you do it when you're desperate. You do stuff like that when you're desperate.
When you ain't got no storyline.
When you desperately think that this is going to elevate you. And it didn't really work out that well for her. Nobody's buying into that. Yeah. And she's got enough to worry about. She got a husband, she got a little boyfriend, she don't know the paternity of her child. There's a lot going on for her.
Wow.
Jesus. So yeah, she's dead to me still. Yes.
She'll
never be alive.
Damn. Even if she apologized?
So we're gonna let the show play out, but she was given ample opportunity to apologize, but you know what she did? She doubled and tripled down on it.
Yikes.
Can't do that.
All right.
And nobody plays when it comes to their kids.
At all.
Who played about their kids?
Nobody.
Yeah, so if you thinking and you're going to continue to do it, that means you really feel that way about my kids, and that's a never.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I ain't mad at you.
Thank you.
Well, we don't talk
you.
to the dead. So. Even if she want to apologize, too late.
What's up with Mia Thornton? I heard you say that she's dead to you, and it's two-part question.
All right, so y'all see that. I'm going to get into some of these comments. First comment says, comprehension is key. Of course, kids can be talked about in general, but what Mia did was bring up a private moment to show Gizelle's daughter in a negative light. That's where the line was crossed. Someone said Gizelle loves to play victim, and I don't even like Mia, but Gizelle brought her kids up first in a previous episode. Someone else said, isn't this the same woman who mentioned Monique's child? LOL, that's why she had the receipts at the reunion. How quick we forget. Another person said the paternity of her child, but don't bring kids into it, Gizelle. Somebody else said, so it was okay when it came to Monique, Candace, and Wendy's marriages. Somebody else said Gizelle lied that Wendy was being rude to her children. And then this one, Mia crossed the line. But come on, Gizelle, you really don't think you were wrong for questioning her parenting at the start of the season? I love her, but I need for her to admit she crossed the line first, because no way would she tolerate anyone else talking about her parenting like that. So I am on two sides of this, right? I can honestly say that I'm on two sides. I stand on both sides of it. I can see Gizelle's point. So often, we, the audience, if someone talks about someone else's parenting, what do we say? They're not talking about, and somebody will talk about somebody's parenting. The person will, on the receiving end, will say, stop talking about my kids. And what does the audience say? We're not talking about your kids. We're talking about your parenting, so it's okay. That's happened over and over and over again. We're not talking about your kids. we're talking about your parenting. In this case, Mia was directly talking about Gizelle's daughters. She wasn't talking about Gizelle's parenting. She was talking about Gizelle's daughters. Gizelle and Karen, because it wasn't just Gizelle, said, we don't think you're not protecting your children. People said, she's not talking about her kids. She's talking about her parenting. And then Mia directly brings up the twins. So if it were me, I would be hot, right? I understand that from Gizelle's side. There is a flip side to this thing. Gizelle has brought up people's marriages, and they had cut it out, but they ended up showing it at the reunion, where I guess Gizelle had said that she was trying to basically talk about the paternity of Chris and Monique's child because of the affair with the alleged affair with the trainer. She brought up other people's husbands, which could be as important to them as their children. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, at what point, what is off limits? Is it time to be honest and say, let's be clear, depending on who people like is when something is off limits? Or are we at a space where nothing is off limits? This is supposed to be their real life. So in real life, if you were in an argument with someone who's probably really not your friend, you would go for whatever. If I was in an argument with my friend, I'd probably be trying to get my point across and not attacking her or the people in her life. But if you're going back and forth with somebody who's not your friend and you just want to get that point across, you may bring up the people around them. So at what point do we be honest and say nothing is off limits? It's only off limits if it's the person that you like. Because that's what it seems like, right? For me, I can see both sides of this. I can see Gizelle saying, you have lost your rabbit mind. Like Karen said, the stress of running a pimp village is getting to her. You done brought up my kids. Again, on the other side, I can say, Gizelle, you have talked about everybody's husband on that show. You get what is coming to you. I see both sides. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I do think that this is her effort to get me off. I mean, I think about last season when she accused Wendy and Candace of laughing at her child, or rolling their eyes. And now in this confessional, in her confessional, she said, I'm taking it in and I'm reacting. I think that she is reacting in real time, and trying to go ahead and take Mia right on out of her job. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Here is something else. She also speaks on Robyn not being a part of the show.
It was tough. Mm-hmm. It was tough. You know, Robyn, y'all know she's notoriously late. I was always thinking she was going to come into
the beginning of it. I want y'all to get to
out Robyn.
He says, tough. How was it filming without Robyn?
You know, Robyn, y'all know she's notoriously late. I was always thinking she was going to come into the scene, just late per usual. She was always kind of like the voice of reason. When people are going left and screaming at each other, she was always looking at like the bigger picture.
Not always.
And we didn't have that.
Sometimes she antagonized.
So yeah, definitely missed her.
Yeah. Did you ever think about walking? Because she said she got fired. Did you ever think about walking when she got fired?
No, I'm supposed to quit my job because you got fired? I know that's right. I know that's right. Shit. I'm supposed to fumble my bag? No.
Did y'all have a convo about it though? I'm sure.
Of course. Like after she got the call, she immediately called me. But she kind of felt it coming, you know. Unfortunately, she's in a situation in which she's with her guy, Juan, but for whatever reason, people don't like that relationship. And so year after year, she would have to defend it. And it was kind of like, everybody was tired of this. But, you know, you shouldn't have to defend the person that you have been married to, that you love constantly.
How's it been doing the show without Robyn?
It was tough.
What's interesting to me is she says you shouldn't have to defend the person that you love constantly. She was always putting these women on the defense constantly about their relationships. She did it with Karen and Ray. Karen had to defend her marriage, bringing up the rumors about Eddie more than once, leaving Wendy to defend her marriage. Let's not talk about Chris Bassett. Candace having to defend her marriage. But Robyn shouldn't have to defend hers when there's questions. When there's when we're finding out things like receipts of him paying for hotel rooms and such. All's fair. It's not off limits for one, but not for everybody else. It shouldn't be. So I didn't necessarily agree with her saying that. It's like, you would have these women on the defense a lot defending. I mean, now they didn't have to take the offense. They could have just said, I'm not explaining nothing to you, but you're bringing up these rumors on camera, right? So I'm sure that was a lot to them. It's interesting, though. I think she had no problem doing it because she was not going to bring any more relationship after she got embarrassed about Sherman. She was not bringing anybody else on except for Jamal. We don't even know if that was real or if that was just for the camera. So there was nothing for her to defend, right? So in that part, I'm like, well, Robyn should have to answer to rumors and receipts, just like you wanted the other ladies to answer for their husbands about rumors, right? Also, she wasn't too fond of the relationship with Robyn and Juan. What Robyn's last season, she talked about it with the girl in the hotel room and her. She didn't like it herself. So I do think it's interesting when she said she's with Juan, Robyn is with Juan, her guy. And before the season started, last season, we were able to see the application for the marriage license that was dropped all online, but nobody's seen the marriage certificate. I do find that interesting. I'm going to say me personally, just as me, I always felt like they had an arrangement for the cameras. She can keep her job. The storyline must progress. So she had to progress with Juan. She can keep her job. And so we're going to be together for the cameras. I have my different suspicions as to why. Things that I have seen, but I will just say that. And I do wonder now that they're not on the show if we'll find out that maybe they didn't get legally married. They applied for the license, they did all that, but maybe they did not file the paperwork to legally get married. I don't know. We shall see. But I did think that was interesting. But I'm with her on the why would I quit my job when you got fired? Now, look, unless they had a conversation, which would be crazy, saying if one of us goes, we both go. Again, crazy if that happened. But if not, yeah, I'm with Gizelle. I'm going to keep my job. I miss you, boo. I miss you. But I'm going to go ahead and stay on over here. So there is that. Moving on, let's get into an update with Vanderpump Rules and James Kennedy. We talked the other day about James Kennedy being arrested for DV. Since then, some more things have come out. So let's get into it. VPR star James Kennedy threw girlfriend to the ground, according to arrest docs. James Kennedy's alleged altercation with a woman leading to his DV arrest might be more physical than originally thought, TMZ has learned. According to a Burbank police daily arrest log, an officer made contact with the Vanderpump Rules star and the woman inside a residence Tuesday night. In the log entry for Kennedy's case, it says the woman stated her boyfriend picked her up and threw her to the ground. As we reported, Kennedy was arrested for misdemeanor domestic battery upon spouse/cohabitant, because that's what the paperwork said. Law enforcement officers previously told TMZ Kennedy had gotten into an argument with the woman whose name had not been released and grabbed her at one point. Told police officers were summoned to the residence, but they did not see visible injuries on the woman, but they arrested James anyway. So on the police report itself, it says he threw girlfriend to the ground. Y'all, this is what the police department says. Now, let's get it. Now, also, we just want to say, one second. Kennedy's attorney, Scott Lehman, told us, we understand that there were no injuries, and we're hoping that after careful review, the city's attorney will decide not to file formal charges. So the woman in the residence told the police, because it's on the report, so we're going to assume that she told the police that he lifted and threw her to the ground. His lawyers are saying that since there was no injuries, we're hoping that after careful review, they won't file formal charges. Not that this didn't happen. It was a misunderstanding. There were no injuries, so we hope that they don't file charges. Allie speaks out. Allie posted on her Instagram. 1 second. Thank you to everyone who has reached out with love and support. Let me start over. Thank you to everyone who has reached out with love and support and for checking in on me. I'm okay and taking the time I need right now. I deeply appreciate all the kindness and respect for my privacy during this time. James has been allowed to get away with behavior for years, I believe, which then leads to something like this repeatedly. People didn't want to hear from Kristen because people thought Kristen was erratic. People didn't think she was a credible source. So they just kind of either felt like, oh, she deserved whatever happened, or she started whatever happened, right? Then we get Raquel, which Raquel actually, I had it up in my other video, but of course I'll have to do this whole video over. She had spoken about James before. Let's see, I want to pull up exactly. She reacted to, give me 1 second. She reacted to his arrest for, I want to get exactly what she said. I'm trying to, because I had the picture pulled up. Give me 1 second. So Raquel reposted on her story the amount of, the screenshot of the article, James Kennedy DV arrest was a misunderstanding. That was the headline. The amount of times I convinced myself that the abuse I endured by James Kennedy Giorgio was a misunderstanding is sickening. Then she has a link and says, re-listen to RGR, which was her podcast, Rachel Goes Rogue, chapter 21. Then she ended up posting a PDF link to the different abuse, actual abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse. So she's now speaking out about her, being abused by him. And again, how she thought she had convinced herself that they were misunderstandings. Like I said, I feel like James has been able to get away with this behavior for years. He has a history of this. I have said it before, and I'll say it again. People who I know watched Potomac and Vanderpump Rules, they would be upset about Candace's reactions to things. She went too low. She said this, she said that. Then when it got to James, and I would ask them, well, why do we not have the same energy for James and his reactions to things, and sometimes him provoking? And it was, I don't know, there's just something about James. I guess it was his ability to be able to cry, connect with his emotions, sob, tell his childhood story, the cleft in his chin, the blue eyes, the James Dean-esque look that allowed his behavior to just skate on by. And then it's year after year after year of bad behavior, year after year after year of, oh, it's just James or James from the audience and probably from people around the show. I believe producers know about this behavior. And now we're here. Yeah. So I think the people around him did him a disservice, and the audience really, because it was, oh, James, this person upset him, or, oh, James, or I don't know, he's just so handsome in the British accent, that you overlook his behavior. Prayers out to Allie. If this it's happened. The police report again is saying this is what the woman at the residence said. We don't know for sure. None of us were there. But so if this happened, prayers to Allie and everyone involved. Moving on, let's talk about Jen Shah. This is according to Reality T. Jen Shah gets another prison sentence reduction and new release date. Jen Shah has been behind bars since January 2023. The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star was set to spend 6.5 years there after pleading guilty for her role in a telemarketing fraud scheme that largely and despicably targeted the elderly. However, Jen just got another break. She's seemingly been a model prisoner during her stay at Bryan Federal Prison Camp in Texas, and her sentence was further reduced. This is at least the third time her release date has been pushed up from its original 2029 date. So she was originally not scheduled to be released until 2029. Amazing news for her. For her victims, probably not so much. According to federal prison records obtained by the U.S. Sun, Jen's now set to be released from the prison camp on November 19th, 2027. This is a month sooner than the previous time her release date was pushed up to December 19th, 2027. There was not an explanation for her most recent break, but her last one was due to good behavior. Now, her original sentence was supposed to last until sometime in 2029. The first reduction had her freedom scheduled for August 30th, 2028. Jen has continued to be a model prisoner, according to her manager, Chris Giovanni. She's been teaching fitness classes to the likes of other convicts like Theranos scammer Elizabeth Holmes. Y'all know she wore the black turtlenecks. Chris explained she created it in prison. It started off as something she was doing to improve her fitness. As she went in, she lost a good amount of weight. She developed the Shamazing Abs class. All the ladies started coming up to her on the yard, and they would do workout segments, not on the yard. Elizabeth Holmes attended with other inmates, and it became a thing in there. Jane Fonda, that's her nickname. Last year, it was revealed that Jen had been helping other inmates as an ESL and GED tutor as part of her attempt to atone for her crimes. She shared, "I am grateful for the opportunity to earn a second chance. I know some people doubt my sincerity and commitment." But she continued, "I can only control what I do daily and how I prepare for my life after federal prison." So she went from her release date being sometime in 2029 to now she will be getting out, what'd they say, in 2027. So, we know she defrauded the elderly. But there's something to be said, a question to be had about redemption, forgiveness. Who says somebody has paid their dues? Who's the judge, jury of that? I'll take it further, like I said in my last video, because I'm trying to remember all the things I said in the other video. But basically, I believe in God. God gives us second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth chances. I know for me personally, right? But I'm also not God to be giving those chances out to other people. I know that I look and see she defrauded the elderly. And I'm like, I know I look and see that there's certain things that people do. And I'm like, nope, they don't deserve a second, third, fourth chance. And that's just me. Right or wrong, there's certain things that I feel like you don't get another chance. There are people that, I believe there are people that do things that can involve other people, but they're just so in it, so focused on looking out for themselves. Then they get caught, and the gravity of actually what they were doing really hits them. And they're like, oh my God, I've been a monster. I've affected this person. And they're really sorry. They're also sorry that they got caught, but they are really, really remorseful and sorry. Then I believe there are people that are only sorry because they got caught. And that's just it. That's inside of a person. Now, we can't see what they truly feel or think. We can only go by their actions on the outside. Sometimes those actions are sincere. Sometimes they're not. So I don't know. What do y'all think as far as Jen and what she did? Do y'all think she deserves a second chance, like as far as to be on the Housewives and just different opportunities? Or do you think that what she did was so heinous, serve her time, and then go, in the words of the diva, AKA my girl, Erica De Niro, she needs to return to being a private citizen. She needs to stay and remain a private citizen. What do y'all think? Because it is, like I said, who is the person that determines whether a person should get a second or third chance based on what they did? Again, like I said, some things I feel like you're done. But, who's to say? So y'all let me know what y'all think about Jen, her early release date. Do y'all want to see this Jen back on the screen? Let me know what y'all think about Vanderpump Rules again and James Kennedy. Oh, some of his DJ gigs have been canceled. That was also in the other video, y'all. I had that all lined up. He had a gig canceled that he had just promoted. So give me 1 second. It's his Dallas show. I'm so annoyed, y'all, because I had it all laid out. But again, that video. Vanderpump Rules star James Kennedy's Dallas show is canceled after DV arrest. So he promoted a performance at Komodo Lounge in Dallas next month. It was supposed to be next month. And they canceled it. He had just promoted it. And they said, after careful consideration, we made the decision to cancel his upcoming appearance. The cancellation comes 24 hours after Kennedy promoted his upcoming appearance with more than 1 million Instagram followers. In his post, that he uploaded promoting it. He said Komodo Dallas was his favorite spot in the Lone Star State. While the event is no longer listed, he has other performances across the country from Milwaukee and Seattle to Atlanta between now and March 2025. So as of yet, I believe as of Friday, he had not taken down his post promoting his performance in Komodo Lounge. It may be down right now. So do y'all think that other venues are going to follow in the same vein and cancel? He also just launched a partnership with Monster Energy Drink. I talked about that in another video when we first reported on this arrest for James. He's in partnership with Monster. I wonder if they will then cancel his contract because of what he's been arrested for, especially in light of the police report coming out saying that he threw a woman on the ground. The exact words were that he lifted, threw girlfriend to the ground. So I wonder if other venues will come out and say, we are not having him. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that. And let me know what y'all think about Gizelle, her speaking on Robyn. Again, I agree with her. I'm not going to quit my job, child, because you lost yours. Do any of y'all out there miss Robyn? Do y'all think that Robyn was always the voice of reason? And let me know what y'all think about what she said about Mia in the conversation about Mia. And do y'all agree with Gizelle? Mia was way out of line, or do y'all think, Gizelle, you're just reaping what you put out there? I will talk to y'all later. This video, it better be okay. See ya.